Good morning or afternoon. Sure is morning where I am. 6:31 a.m. See, that's my dedication to you. You know, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to help people with law of attraction issues. So, that's what I did. I got up pretty early in the morning. Okay, time to push some buttons that you can't see me push. You just have to trust me. I'm pushing them. They're not really buttons, though. Touching things on an iPad. Hey, so if you're... I still don't know if you're in the room, so... It doesn't look like it. Hold on just a second. It's taking its time here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Law of Attraction Q&A with me, Bob Doyle. One of the featured teachers in the film, The Secret. Perhaps you've heard of it. And if you haven't, you will eventually. It's only been around for about 11 years, so, you know, if it hasn't gotten to you yet, just a matter of time, a matter of time. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Lily, where have you been? I've missed you. And Sarah and Pete, wow, awesome. Well, before we get started, I think a little bit of coffee is in order. Yep, I was right. That was in order, all right. Pete's on his way to work in a moment, but he's curious about the app. So, well, that means are you trying to schedule my broadcast? Did you think I was just going to jump right out of the gate with this app? You know, I have to build to it. So here's the thing. What we do here is I answer law of attraction questions if you ask them. If you don't ask them, then I just come up with things on my own and I talk about them. I'm really good at that. So, okay. So I'm just looking at my dog because, you know, who wouldn't? Boy, I'm just getting notifications all over the place that I'm live. I should go check it out, and so should you. And so should you share this with everyone. By the way, just a reminder that if you'd like reminders about these Law of Attraction Q&As, I can arrange that for you so that you won't ever have to worry about missing a live broadcast again. All you have to do is type "tell me" in the comments below. Tell me. Just tell me. Don't say "tell me, Bob." Don't say "help me, Rhonda." Just say "tell me," hit return, and then you're going to get a message in your Facebook Messenger. And it's going to say, "Hey, are you there?" Type "yes" if you are. Please do that, because otherwise I can't help you. So you type "tell me," you get the response, you say yes, and then magic happens. You'll get notified with a messenger every time I go live with these Q&As. Anyway, it's just a cool thing to do, so do it. Hi, Beth. Good morning. Well, see, Lily, I just told you how you won't have to miss these anymore. Gosh, what a great public service this was. So before I get into this app thing, which I will go ahead and do, I just want to throw a question out there for you. Just to mull over, and then when we're done with the app, we're going to get into it, shall we? And don't forget, if you have questions, you can ask them at any time. Oh, it's early. I say that, but I've been up for quite a while. My schedule is whack-a-doodle. All right, shall we get into the app? Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do this because on the Bob Doyle Show, we have a little segment we like to call Apptacular, where I haven't done it in probably a year, but it exists, and it looks something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Apptacular, the part of the show where we talk about apps that we believe are absolutely spectacular, and today is no exception. Today we are looking at an app that I like to call what the developers like to call it, and it's called Insight Timer. Now, see, you'd never think, if you were just scanning the store, the App Store, you see Insight Timer, you don't know what that is, right? I'd suggest they change the title. I don't know. But anyway, look. So once you launch, this is a meditation app, and we'll just turn down that music. It's a meditation app that is free for the Android and the iOS. Doesn't look very interesting right now, does it? Looks kind of plain. But let's break down at what you're looking at. Oh, I wish I had my glasses. That would make this possible. So at the top of the screen, you see 249,274 meditations today. I think that means that's how many people have used this app and done a meditation today. There's a lot of users on this. And under that you see 4,284 meditating now. This is almost like a social meditation app. You can find your friends and see who's nearby and so on, and you can see under here community. Jerry Salona is meditating to evening meditation, okay, and you can see what people are doing. And of course you don't have to broadcast that if you don't want to. Insight Timer. Insight Timer. And actually you can go to insighttimer.com. But don't go now. Don't go now, you silly. I'm talking here. All right. So let's go down along the bottom. We have the icons there, and we were on the home page. Let's go to the listen page because that's where the magic happens. That's the earphones. So I don't have any bookmarks or anything like that. I just got this yesterday, so I don't have my teachers or my anything. I haven't even told people my interests yet. But based on that, they've given me some suggestions. So we've got For You. I don't know what they base that on. I've listened to a few things. New today, because there's always constantly meditations being uploaded. And you can see here, it says like 17 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes. It even has, I wish I could point. Whoops, what did I do? It even says, if I'm doing this correctly, like there's a little musical note. That means there's music on it. Okay. So, and then recently played. You can see a manifestation meditation I listened to, Manifesting All You Desire, because of course I'm going to listen to those. 33 bowls, Tibetan singing bowls rain. Anyway, I've just done 4. Let's take a look. Look at all these interests. Now, here are the categories. Let me see if I can go landscape with this. Nope. Okay, so here are the categories: recovering and healing, sleep, happiness, spiritual, kids and teens, creativity and performance, relationships, stress and anxiety. So let's just go to sleep because that's one of the ones I've been dealing with recently. And so you can see sleep now, sleep quality, popular sleep meditations, all these meditations, and they're free. So here's like, I'm just going to pick one at random. This one that says peaceful sleep meditation. Hit it. And it has a little description, has tags, comments on it. You can find more from the same teacher who provided these meditations if you want to. So you can see this person's uploaded several of them and you can follow them. And then you just hit play. I think you'll be able to hear it if it starts playing. Do you hear?
Hello and welcome to this hypnotherapy recording that's going to help you to enjoy a peaceful sleep.
I think I've got...
This recording is only...
You maybe hear it in the background. You probably just hear it in the background because it's coming through my computer instead of how it's supposed to be coming through. But you can see where it says it has a timer. It tells you exactly how long it's going to go. I'm going to go ahead and stop it, and I can't read that. Does that say? I can't read it because I don't have. I finish early, right? Done. Don't log, because it keeps a log of your progress, so you know I meditated this many minutes, this many minutes. The real cool thing about this is the variety and just how many meditations there are that are included for free. And if you find a particular person that you like, you can stay with them and listen to them and all of that. So, and of course, Beth just pointed out that this woman's voice was so soothing. There's all different teachers, all different voices, all different approaches, all different kinds of everything. But I will tell you for sure, I listened to the sleep thing yesterday, one of the ones I listened to. It worked. And the one so just so you know, I think it was that first one, Yoga Nidra for Sleep. I think that was the one. Boy, I should really have my glasses. This is just a freaking blur. But it's just a really cool paying attention to your body kind of thing, and it's about playing. So anyway, if you have issues with any of these topics, go check this out. And I want to thank Dawn again for showing this to me. She said, "Are you in here?" Because you may very well, oh, look at this, music, chanting and mantras, ambient music. Let's check it out. See, I didn't even know. We're discovering this together. So see, this is, and I think Dawn shared this with me because why wouldn't I want to contribute to this app? So you may be seeing Bob Doyle in here as a teacher and a contributor very soon. I did check the box to be contacted about it. Wouldn't that be cool? Of course it would. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Dawn. Insight Timer. I can't. All right, I'm going to type this on my iPad, which I never do, but I'm going to this time. But you have to promise me you can't run off and go get it right now. Okay, because we got stuff to do. Did I even ask you the question? I said I was going to ask you a question to be thinking about, and I think I got distracted. Anyway, it's that simple. I'm not going to go on and on about it. You see what it is. It's really cool. Please go get it. If you struggle with meditation, there's so many different varieties of meditation there. I'm sure you'll find something that works for you. Okay? And it's such an important part of this whole equation. We'll talk about that in just a second, as long as we're talking about it. But here's the main question that I wanted to ask you, and I think I forgot to ask, and it was this. This is something to contemplate for a minute, and then I'll talk about meditation, then we'll come back to this question. How do you learn? How do you learn? That's the simplest question. Now, there's several ways you will. I want you to mull those over in your head, and then we'll come back and visit that in a second. So the thing about the meditation is, why it's so important. Just if you need a reset button on this, meditation is really not optional. If you want to live in peace, if you want to be clear, if you want to be sleeping, the whole thing. Because here's what happens. Your brain, we live in such an overly active attention deficit disorder society. We've got so many things we're dealing with that our brains are constantly spinning, and that's why we can't sleep sometimes at night, because we don't know how to calm our brain down at an appropriate time. We've learned that we've just got to constantly be solving these problems, thinking about the problems, mulling them over. What's the action we're going to take? Stressing about it, worrying about it, all of these things. Or we've got so many things going on in our life, we feel like we have to be spinning cycles, right? Who can relate to this? Everybody! Thank you, sir, for answering that in that squeaky voice, making my mouth move at the same time. I'm sorry, ma'am. That's embarrassing. So if you do not, every now and then, shut that thing down, you're going to burn it out, just like your body, right? You exercise too much, you run too much, you stay awake, you don't sleep, you push, you don't let your body rest and recover. What happens? You burn out, you break, you can't do anything, right? You have a breakdown. Hi, Dina, nice to have you here. Your brain is exactly the same way. Your mind is the same way. You've got to give it a rest. Don't you know that, you've had those situations where you're just so overwhelmed with thoughts that you can't think straight about it. You can't do anything effectively. You certainly can't think creatively, right? Everything's just like, it's fragmented and crazy, and you're multitasking. Hi, Peter. No time to listen to this, unfortunately, but since I can't text you a good morning like I do all my friends, I guess I'll just say it here. Well, good morning, Peter. Last name is Benjamin. So you can understand my mistake. So you got to learn to calm that down. And sleeping isn't the same. Sleeping, you dream and it's active, it's crazy. You know. That can help your body recover, but your brain needs something else. And so this intentional shutting down, calming, focus, mindfulness, it's all really important. And obviously in my position, I teach various forms of meditation. I have meditation. I know how important it is. I talk about the importance of it, but it's something that people struggle with so much. I can't. They'll just outright say, I can't meditate. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Everybody can. It's just difficult for you right now because your brain's right. So you got to start training it to calm down. Even people who've meditated for years will still have thoughts that go off and pop into their head and all that and get that it happens to everyone. So relax about that. So when you're starting, you're going to get, your thoughts are going to go everywhere. The problem is you get frustrated. I'll never be able to meditate. This is stupid. Right? Well, no, just like everything else, law of attraction or whatever, we're not giving ourselves enough time to make the adjustment in our wiring, in our belief system, in everything, to make the new habit stick. Folks, we're however old we are, we're all adults listening to this. We've had our whole life of creating the way that our brain works, the way that our belief systems work, and all of this. You've come into a law of attraction conversation. It's a do-over, my friends. You've got a lot to undo. If you expect for your life to change dramatically, you have to be willing. You have to be willing to put in the investment and time to do it. And you have to have the drive. You have to know why you're doing it. Otherwise, of course, like we've said a million times recently especially, the ego will just stop you if you don't have that drive. So to get that kind of clarity, every now and then you need to calm the brain down, because if you're making decisions about what you need or want in your life in fear and worry and panic and scatteredness, believe me, you're not going to get that sense of satisfaction you want. You want your goals and your vision to be from a clear, quiet, intentional, grounded space, not affected by all these negative things and all the noise in your head. So you got to learn to calm it down, however long it takes, folks. Same thing with the law of attraction. Probably even more so, because I think with the law of attraction, we're asking a lot of people to take an even bigger leap in faith, because it's been, packaged up in this magical way. And now, as a result, people who are mainstream or whatever, they look at law of attraction and go, whatever, New Age, right? It's because it's how it's been marketed out there, and how it's been shared, and what it's been talked about, and the promises that's been made about how quickly it'll work for you, and all of these things. Guys, we're human beings. We're wired in a certain way. Our behavior and who we be and our belief system, it impacts all of it. It impacts the actions we'll take. It impacts the vibration we're putting out there. Watching a movie or reading a book does not change all that in a second. But what it does do is it says, yes, I want that. I want to commit to this type of life where I can actually manifest the life I want and am not running in reaction mode all the time. This is what books and things like that should do. They should inspire possibility and a vision and a new quest and a new journey for yourself, not a quick fix that I'm gonna find the quick fix where I can get this overnight. Otherwise, it's all a scam. See, that's how we've been programmed. That's how we've been programmed through advertising and marketing. And here's this thing, and it works in 3 days. If it does, you get all your money back. Guys, we're not playing that game. This is your freaking life. Okay? And the reason I ask you how you learn, there's a couple of ways. We learn from our own experiences, and then we learn from what other people are telling us or what we observe. And guess what? That's way more, especially when we're young, when we're not really having that many experiences. I mean, we learn things like, hey, don't touch the stove. Don't kick your foot into the doorway. We learn these things by ourselves, right? We learn, go to the bathroom when you need to. Don't be waiting. If you think you need to go before that long car trip, go. See, we learn that ourselves. But our beliefs, how life works, all that really just how we function in the world stuff, we learn from out there. Okay, right or wrong. We've learned from our parents, we've learned from our teachers, we've learned from society, we've learned from TV, we've learned all this stuff, and it's created our system of beliefs that is ruling us every single day. We all come in with a clean slate, and it gets whacked as we go through life, and we learn limitation. And then we get to a point in our life where I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just didn't learn that then. But you can. All you got to do is change your behavior. Go do it. Learn it, whatever. If you need to learn a new skill, okay, go learn it. And then you can do and be that thing. It's a decision. It's a choice. Just because you were born into an environment and have lived 40-something years, 50, 60, 70, 80 years a certain way does not mean you can't change it. It's a decision. And it's a decision that is driven by the passion behind it. The why must I do this behind it. If you don't have that, then, obviously it's namby-pamby. I'll just get by. I'm comfortable enough, whatever. I don't like it, but it's not perfect. But no one's perfect. You can't just live your dream. Yes, you can. Stop telling yourself that. Stop telling yourself that you can't do it. Stop telling yourself that you can't meditate. Stop telling yourself that you don't have the time. Stop telling yourself that you don't have the money. Stop telling yourself that it works for other people and not you. Because every time you tell yourself that, you make it more and more true. But it's not true. So here's the reason that people, and personal development in general, the reason that the success rate in personal development is maybe 7% is because if you come into a personal development endeavor, whether that's reading a book, taking a program, taking a course, whatever it is, and you don't have help from the outside, another way of learning from the outside, all you have, everything you're bringing to the table is your own experience, your own limiting beliefs, just you. That's it. How do you expect for the mentality and the belief system and all of that got you into this position to necessarily be able to take this new information and do something with it? Because your ego has kept you where you are for all this time. It's given you reason after reason to stay exactly where you are and not take that step. So you might read a book or start going through a program and go, oh, this is very exciting, and then start to go take the action. The ego says, you can't do that. That's not who you are. And you say, oh, yeah, and you stop. Marie Pierre. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. Coco's here. Awesome. Okay, so that's why we do this. Because I've been teaching Law of Attraction for 15 years, and I've done it through programs, and I've done it through one-on-one coaching, and now the way I do it for the foreseeable future, I mean, my programs are still out there. You can still get them. I highly recommend them. I think they're quite good. But if you don't have the support, if you don't have a different set of beliefs coming at you from the outside, if you don't get a support system that says that is not on the same conversation of limitation that you've had, if you don't have that, how are you going to do it? How are you going to learn a new thing when you are your only education source? Reading the books, taking the programs, for some people is not enough. Because the voice in the head is way too loud. You're reading it, there's a part of your consciousness, the essence of who you are is reading it and going, I am drawn to this because I know this is true. I know there's something in here for me. This is ringing true, but your ego is screaming, that's goofy. Prove it. You can't. Da-da-da-da. Go ahead, try to take action. I'll bet you can't. And that ego is so strong and it's so much of a part of your identity that eventually it wins out. And you drift off from the program, you stop reading the modules, you stop watching the videos, you stop doing gratitude, you stop all that. Because there's no accountability. You're on your own. So what I'm saying is, if you're really... So I have a lot of passion around this. Subject of the law of attraction, obviously. I've been doing it a long time because it changed my life so dramatically. And when I do get to work with people, I get to see it happen for other people. Since the law of attraction is behind how your life is unfolding, whether or not you know it and want to accept it or not, getting a handle on how it's working in your life, that's pretty important if you want to have any sort of control over where you're going. Now, I say that with a caveat, because there are some people who are just already programmed to live in their vision, to not be stopped by limiting beliefs. You know, they grew up in a different environment. These are the people who just coast, and you look at them and go, how? It's all up here. It's all up here. But if you start to take all this on with just what you've got up here, and it's a lot of noise and a lot of limitations and a lot of ego going, no, I can't. I want to. I really want to, Bob. I'm trying, but I can't. Then you need an extra level of support. End of story. Do you want it or not? Do you want to get there or not? How long have you been trying it your way? These are the questions. We start this group coaching on Saturday, this Saturday. We are in the home stretch, right? And there's already people in the group, and we've already started. I mean, we haven't had the official first session. That's Saturday, this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You don't have to be there live for any of these things. They're all recorded. And that's just those sessions, they're just a small fraction of what this group coaching is. Group coaching is your new tribe. It's your new support system. It's your new set of new library of tools and resources and support. Daily access to me, personal response to your questions, your issues, one-on-one coaching for the group, for the benefit of the group from time to time, all the weekly live sessions that are topic specific, but then everything in between. Because this isn't, law of attraction isn't a once a week thing. It should be a moment by moment way that you're living. And so immersion in these principles for 90 days, pretty damn good start, right? Where you are accountable, where you do get the support, where you're allowed to come in and vent. You got negative thoughts in your head and you're afraid to say them to people because you go, I shouldn't be negative. It's a safe space. You have to be able to be honest with yourself and others if you're going to make progress. That's another thing, is a lot of people come into group coaching programs and they want to show everybody else that they already know all this stuff. So they answer all the questions the right way and they know the answers, but they're not really getting the results. We don't do that in our group. It's straight up honest. You're having a struggle, I'm having a struggle. It's all out on the table and we support each other through it with the various tools and the information that we have. So that at the other end of 90 days, wow, I can't even imagine. We've only done 30-day sessions in the past and gotten amazing results and amazing momentum in people to the extent where they're signing up a second and now a third time. Does anyone have any law of attraction questions? Dina says, can't wait for the 90-day. Been trying it this way, reading books. Well, Dina, you're not in the group yet. You got to get in here. What are you waiting for? BalancedLiving.com/group coaching. It starts Saturday. Actually, it starts the moment you sign up, because you'll go immediately to the Facebook group where everybody's hanging out, already talking, already sharing stuff. You'll see. I've already done a couple of impromptu live teaching and coaching sessions already, and we haven't even started. Like really deep stuff. We have begun, my friends. So jump in. You're not behind yet. But after Saturday, I can't guarantee. There have been situations where I've let people in to the group during that first week. I don't know if I want to do that this time. So you really just need to make this decision. I mean, it's a time and money investment. That is correct. And so was college. And so was your whole life getting you where you are now. So you've got everything you ever spent on your education and your career and everything that was supposed to create the dream life, all those years, all that money, I can't even imagine, compared to 90 days and this one investment. And I guarantee you, we're going to get you more momentum in that 90 days than you've had up to this time. That's a pretty big guarantee and not quantifiable. So whatever, but you know what I mean. Oh, Dina was waiting for a buddy because we do have a household discount. I don't know if that's the exact same, but the household discount basically means that if you have two people in the same house who want to do this, then one of them can do it for 50%. So it's a group savings things. And we've got two in the group who have taken advantage of that, who are roommates and best friends, and they did the 30 days together before, and now they're doing the 90 days together. Doesn't that sound nice? A built-in support system within a support system. Okay. As far as the payment, by the way, so we have payment plans, so you can break it up into 3 payments. And it's not on the site, but if you guys are into digital currency, I will accept that as well, because I totally accept digital currency. So if you have Bitcoin or whatever, you just have to contact me and we'll work it out. That's not on the page. I don't know how many of you are into digital currency yet, but you all will be eventually. Oh, yes. We all will. It's unavoidable. Sarah says, anyone who cohabitates needs to do it together. And that, in the first round, we had a husband and wife do it as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously if you're sharing a household, if one person is doing it and another is not, that can get interesting. I mean, it's not that it's bad, but it can get interesting because now we have that dynamic where one person's really taking on their life and the other person may not be. Luckily with Cheryl and Sarah, they're both taking it on. So it's fantastic. And then we also have the PayPal credit option. If you're in the US, that's available to you, which means that you can pay for the whole thing and not pay for it for 6 months. Rick has joined again. So now I've gone on and I've asked you all of these questions. So it's a Q&A. Where's your law of attraction question? Or have I just answered them all already? And Rick, if you're here to see the app, I already did it. I was pressured into it early by Pete because he had to go to work. So I rearranged my entire schedule for one viewer because that's the kind of guy I am. Now, if I had known you were coming in later and you wanted to see it, I'd say, well, we're waiting for Rick. Sorry. I feel like Rick comes in right after I finish a big piece of meat, a juicy piece of meat, and then I'm drinking my coffee. And he's like, why am I watching this? The other day, it was during my ukulele test, and I did all my stuff, and then he shows up. I'm like, I'm done with my test, and it failed. You guys know who Rick is? You got to check him out. This kid he works with. Man, it's crazy. If you're a music person, which I am, I don't know. There's no words. Anyway. All right. Sarah says, gratitude question. When you are writing what you're grateful for daily, do you write only what is in your vision or what you currently have to? Oh, currently. Did I answer that question clearly enough? Here's why. Well, you do both. But the currently, that's tangible. You can look at it and say, yeah, it exists. Your ego, if you're still developing your ego, trying to get your ego on the vision train, being thankful for something that hasn't really showed up in your experience of reality yet, that's going to be a trick. Your ego is going to scream at you. It's just going to delay the whole thing. You got plenty to be thankful for right here. Again, gratitude isn't a past, future, present thing. It's only present. Gratitude is a feeling that you're feeling, whether it's about something in the future or in the past or whatever. It's a vibration, very distinct feeling of, I have all of this and it's good. All this and it's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, the carpet under my feet, my comfortable socks. There's so many. There's so many. You know, if you ever really want to just tune into gratitude, this is a dark thought, but imagine yourself being locked away in prison all of a sudden, or something similar. Everything's taken away. All of your freedom's taken away. Every convenience that you are used to. Everything gone. I imagine within about an hour and a half, you'd have a list 18 million pages long for all the things you're grateful for in your life right now. The color of the paint on my walls. Right? Beats the crap out of jail cell gray. It's perspective. We choose to look at these things and say, oh, I'm grateful for that, or that's just, I take that for granted, or whatever. Guys, you should be grateful for it all. The fact that we have the experience, the fact that we get to touch things and hear things and smell things, that we had the gift of being this configuration of energy, a human being, to have a life of a pretty good number of years for the most part, to have a vision and to live into it, that we all had that potential when we came here to create a vision and live into it. And I know this because we can see people who do it. The only difference between them and you is the information that they received as they grew up. But you can always receive new information. Always. Letting it in might be the challenge, but if you have 90 days to do it, you'll probably be able to do it. So, you know, new information, new vision, new action, new support system, new life. Plain and simple. You get to decide every single day, who am I going to be? Every single day, you get to make that choice. Most of the time, we say, I'm going to be who I was yesterday. Right? Right. Dawn, paint your walls, Dawn. Dawn says, I have jail cell gray on my walls. Okay, Beth, whatever. Guess what? I've never been to jail. I know, it's my dirty little secret. Sorry to disappoint you all. I know you all thought you were dealing with Jailbird Bob, but nope. I've managed to dodge that. My experience with prison is Shawshank Redemption and Escape from Alcatraz. Remember that movie, Escape from Alcatraz? I was a kid when I saw that. That had an impact. You know, you watch those movies as a kid, and there's these certain scenes that you can't get out of your head for the rest of your life. That movie's got some. Yep. So, I think I've had, 2 questions this entire time? How long have I been talking? What time is it? What's my name? It's 7:05. That means I've been talking 34 minutes. I've shared the app with you, and hopefully you're all going to go get Insight Timer. It is available for... Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think to ask Dawn. Dawn, how do you know that? Right. She said her mom worked at the county jail. Late mom worked at the county jail. So That's how she's got all this jail cell wall color trivia. So if I'm ever in a restaurant situation where they're doing trivia and the theme is jail, I want Dawn at my table. Yeah, Kathy, jail would not be fun. Right. So again, I just use that perspective that example to give you some perspective about gratitude. You can generate that feeling of gratitude pretty easily if you're just willing to do it. But your ego is like, no, it's got to be something really big. It's got to be something really big. Why would you be grateful for a light switch? Well, you ever lose power for 2 or 3 days? 2 or 3 hours, and you start watching your food melt? You start getting really, really grateful for a light that comes on. Really grateful, like super grateful. And it's a small thing. You can generate huge gratitude over the smallest thing. That's the gift of our brain and our imagination. We get to do all of this. And what do we do with it? We focus on worry and fear and panic and problems because that's what we've been taught to do. Sarah says, I have a list. Want me to keep going? Oh, questions about, right. Well, yeah. Well, Sarah, of course, you'll get all your questions answered in the group coaching on a personal basis. That's the advantage of, it's one of the 8 million advantages of doing the group coaching. Right. Can't take things for granted. But we do all the time. Like, I'm sure Bob will offer this group coaching another time. How do you know? This starts on Saturday and it ends at the end of the year. It takes you right through the holidays. And who doesn't need some support during the holidays? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Take us right into 2018 with a clear vision, momentum, a tool set, a group of support. Forget resolutions. You're going to be doing it. You're already going to be doing it. You will have created the vision. You will be in action on it. And if you get stopped, you're going to have a whole tool set and support team. If you don't do this, where will you be in 90 days? I got all these Christmas bills. Or Hanukkah. Or Kwanzaa, or whatever you buy gifts for. And I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Ooh, that's a bummer, because just 90 days ago, we handed it to you on a silver platter. Oh, well. Okay. Okay, well, look, I'm going to give you just a few more minutes. One more minute to ask a question. A law of attraction question. I'm going to keep doing these. Now, so again, Saturday is the first one, and so after Saturday, these live things probably dwindle down to just about nothing for a while because the group is going to be getting my full attention. It's a beyond full-time endeavor to facilitate this group, but so great for the soul. Am I right? I don't know how many group coaching programs you've been in. I've been in a few, and they're all kind of, there's a group and there's coaching. And you get to know the people and all of that. But I really believe, from my own experience, that whatever magic happens with the intention that's set for this group, I'm not giving the credit to myself. I'm giving the credit to whatever it is that we're up to. There's something that's just so great about everybody being on the same page and supporting each other and being able to be honest, and that whole space that creates something that is just a whole different level than any kind of group coaching program I've been in. And maybe some of the people who've done it can put in their 2 cents on that. But that's been my experience, and I've certainly been involved in a lot of coaching over my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I got one more sip of this in my Bob Doyle Show coffee mug. Dina says, I'm obsessed with growing my biz, getting nervous with this last quarter, not close to my goal, ego loving it. Right. Yeah, that's the one thing. And guys, if you are on this law of attraction journey or not, life is cyclical. You will have ups and downs. Energy that we all are is a wave. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So there's a natural cycle that just happens. Okay. Now again, I've drawn this picture many times before, but I'll do it again one last time, and then I'll wrap this up. So You can't see it. I'm not prepared to draw the picture. Sorry. But you've got a line, a baseline. This is your, I don't know, survival line. Everything's good. Everything's fine. You're just making it. This is the line. And now your life, energy, so here's the line. Your life is going, things are great, things are not so great. Things are great, things are not so great. Or things are good and things are less than good, or whatever. If this is your baseline and you're going like this, that means that when you go below, when the natural cycle happens that goes down, you're below your baseline, you're below survival, you're below everything's okay, and now you're in panic mode, right? The idea is you're going to be cyclical, but panic mode, baseline's here, but you're spinning up here. Like you'll have ups, but even your downs don't hit here, right? You're not going to go here anymore. So you'll have your cycles. But if you're hovering here because your ego's keeping you not changing, not escalating, not trying for something more, then you'll have your ups and go, okay, good, things are good. And then when you go down and it goes below the baseline, you go, oh no, everything's wrong. And then you panic and you get filled with fear and then you just get stuck here. But you're not really stuck. You're just thinking the same panic thought over and over again. So we need to raise that general where you're spinning. And we do that by getting you really, really clear on your vision and getting you excited about it and giving you the tool set and getting you into a point where you can go into observation mode when you have an emotional upset instead of engagement mode, right? Where you can be aware, where you can learn to be aware of when your ego is starting to take control, because it's very sly. It's very cunning. It comes in and speaks in a reasonable voice. But if you listen to the message of the voice, no matter how reasonable it's being, if the answer is you can't do that, then guess what? You're listening to a lie. And how long have you been doing that? How long will you continue to do it? What we do in the group coaching is we shine a gigantic spotlight on all of it. And you got to look at it. You got to look at it, you got to own it, and you got to make a decision to do something different. Folks, people just don't do that on their own. They generally just don't do that on their own. They don't know to do it. They just go, I'm stuck, I'm not getting it, this program isn't good enough, this course isn't good enough, this whatever isn't good enough, I need something else. I'm going to keep spending $7, $37, $200. I'm going to keep doing it until I get the course that speaks to the way that I want to do it. And your ego isn't going to approve of any of them if they cause a change in who you are being. So until you can show the ego, nope, I'm doing this, period, despite the fact that you're making me uncomfortable about it, I'm doing it because I'm way more important than this life of limitation. I got things I want to do, even if I'm not really clear on what they are. But I know that this isn't it. So what are you going to do to make that happen, if not this? I'm not saying you won't do something else, but if you're not going to do this, what are you going to do? Nothing? Okay. I mean, if you're committed to doing nothing, there's absolutely nothing I can do. If you want to come by and listen to these Q&As and listen and just enjoy hanging out, that's great. But I'd really like to help you. I mean, when I put on, when this sign is on, this is about helping you. When the Bob Doyle Show sign is on, then I'm just trying to confuse you. But this means I'm serious, right? With a smile. So I'm happy to come in here and answer your questions for free for the rest of my life, whether or not you take action on it. But I'd really appreciate it if you'd take action on it and get the benefit of my experience and the education that I am trying to give you, and the experience and the results of other people who have come before you and made that decision, that maybe uncomfortable decision, that decision that maybe really stretched them out of their comfort zone financially, even though it's not that much money, but sometimes just any amount of money. Spending on yourself, it puts the ego up in arms. Wait, on yourself? What? Why? Wait, whoa. Are we changing something? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? And so that's why a lot of people don't even push the enroll button, because their ego goes, no, you've done this. It doesn't work. Remember all those times it failed? And you can agree with the ego. You say, yes, I did. I did not do that. And if that is all the ego has to do is remind you of one time or two times that you didn't follow through, guess what? That's your sentence for the rest of your life. You'll never do the thing. Because if If that logic works for you, you didn't do it before, and you're not willing to argue that and willing to go, yeah, but that was before. I had a different set of I had a different set of beliefs. I had no vision. I had to, this. Now it's brand new. I get to wake up and change my energy just with my thought. That's how we're built. We can do it. I'm not listening to you anymore. You're not serving me. We can all do that, but it takes support sometimes. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I have talked way more than necessary, but that's what the second cup of coffee will do to you. You should see me after the fourth. Some of you have. Many of you have. Okay, well, this is fun for me as always. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be this early, but I'll be back tomorrow answering more questions and, doing my thing up until Saturday. You know what to do. You know what to do.